Ministry of Education, the Education Revolution. Mr. Speaker, in 2001, $55.65 million was spent recurrent on education. In 2020, 136 million budgeted. Mr. Speaker, pre-primary education in 2001 touched only 20% or so of the people, of the students, the children between age 3 and 5. Now the number knocking its head up to 80%. Oh, I tell you. Primary education, they spent in 2001 $29.36 million. This year we're spending $48.6 million. Incidentally, Mr. Speaker, we are spending $48.6 million on a smaller number of students. They had 19,727 students in primary school in the year 2001. Today, in the government primary schools, they have 11,496. The reason being the birth rate is falling. Birth rate is falling. In 1970s, 30,000 students you had in the primary school, you know. The Honorable Parliamentary Secretary was making that point this morning. Mr. Speaker, we build primary schools. They say we ain't do nothing, you know. Wasted years. Sandy Bay, Pamela's Burke, Connery, primary. Rebuilt the one at Diamond in Minister Caesar's constituency. We currently rebuilding Kaliakwa, new grounds, renovating Park Hill. We rebuild Kingston Government. We're doing that at the moment. We rebuild Dorsetshire Hill. We're rebuilding Kingston Anglican. Westwood Methodist we're doing. Kingston Beckway Anglican Primary. We rebuilt. That is a symbol of what we are doing in primary education. Mr. Speaker, the great heyday of the NDP, they had a primary school with wattle and daub, D-A-U-B, just in case the young ones then don't know what wattle and daub is. Yeah, they call it wattle and daub, but I'm in the parliament, this one, spelling it as always spelled, D-A-U-B, daub, wattle and daub. Mr. Speaker, they put cement to cover the wattle and the daub. The thing was hot like a furnace. I mean, for the honorable member from the Southern Grenadines to come to the table as though he's coming to equity with clean hands. Oh, come on. Mr. Speaker, pit toilet. That wasn't the only one, you know. We built a beautiful school. And by the way, the NDP has been in control of that constituency even before the NDP came into being in 1975. With a private-public partnership, we're rebuilding the Canawan Prime School. This year in the budget, we're rebuilding, starting Mary Hutchinson. We're also going to be rebuilding Barley Anglican and Barley Government. And we repair more than once all the primary schools and secondary schools in this country. Last time over the holidays. Mr. Speaker, secondary education. They spent in 2001 $12.8 million. We spend today annually $44.639 million. Mr. Speaker, the gross enrollment rate in the secondary schools is 99.10%. I have the statistics. Expenditure per student in 2001, and you had 7,400 students in secondary school in 2001. You have now, in number, in excess of 10,000. But they spend per student $1,785 per student per year in 2001. And we spend this year $4,694 per student. You see, I wasted years, Mr. Speaker. I heard the honorable member for Southern Grenadines. I almost choked, Mr. Speaker, on my coconut water. No, the Pelican, I heard that debunked already. Did the schools will be embarrassed about what he wrote there? Somebody told him that. That's a Nancy story. About the time. I won't waste my time. So ridiculous it is. He said that it is the NDP that said that primary school teachers should be promoted as graduate teachers. Mr. Speaker, in the year 2000, late 2000, there were 4%. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 persons who are teachers in the primary school. 4 persons out of a staff of 1,159. 4. Talk to me about education. Talk to me about education. You hear me? I'm the Prime Minister of the Education Revolution. Before anything else, I'm an educator. Mr. Speaker. 4. I didn't know it was only 4. One of them was a lady named Mrs. Lovely Brown-skinned one, who subsequently got to work at the Ministry of Education. She retired. I went to a wedding at South Rivers Primary School, a Saturday. And the 4 of them came to me and leader of the opposition. They backed me into a corner. They said the 4 of us are the 4 teachers who are graduates. And we are not paid as graduates. Mr. Speaker, the reclassification of teachers in 2007 made the distinctions at the level of principal without a degree, principal graduate. And when we came in, we accelerated the training in such a way that today, 60-something% of the teachers in this primary school system have university degrees. I mean, no. You let me down there. You really let me down. You know, because I wasn't here, you bowl a ball, and I ain't hear nobody. No. technical and vocational education. Mr. Speaker, when we came here, well, first of all, we pushed for the development of technical vocational education with a European Union grant. Fantastic work, which we did. And Mr. Speaker, we have done such extraordinary work. I don't have to go through the numbers. I just want to record this fact. The British government decided, and Sir Louis spoke, the Minister of Foreign Affairs spoke how he spoke to Lord Bates a few years ago in London at Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, and said this is something which we need. And he says, look, I'm pushing a program which is called Sky. It's rolled out right now. It's happening at all the technical institutes across the country and at other places. £9 million in training in the Windward Islands. They visited St. Lucia, Dominica, Grenada, with all their passport and citizenship money. And they said that the place which has the most advanced and supportive infrastructure for technical and vocational education is St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they're making here the headquarters. Mr. Speaker, we came here in 2010 with the Sector Skills Development Act. There's a way going with that. They didn't understand that that institutional arrangement was vital. And we set up the arrangements for the TVET certification framework for the National Vocational Qualifications and the Caribbean Vocational Qualifications, which allow you to have freedom of movement in CARICOM. Mr. Speaker, in 2001, on technical and vocational education outside of the Teachers College, they budgeted 1.79 million in 2001. This year, 3.6. I mean, the numbers are just, and you tell me waste? And if you see the enrollment numbers, and our staff is more, post-secondary and tertiary education. Mr. Speaker, with the 4 components of the college in 2001, that is to say, Teachers College, Technical College, Arts, and School of Nursing, which at time was under health, but put all together was $4.4 million. This year, the community college gets from the government $13.7 million. More than 3 times. Mr. Speaker, their enrollment totally in 2001 was 851. Now is nearly 2,200. They had 30 nurses at the nursing school. We expanded and rebuilt the nursing school. We have now 165. We're doing the bachelor's education. We didn't have nurses. We had to go to Cuba, including the young lady who unfortunately lost her life to a gunshot wound in St. Martin's, a very dear friend of mine. I've already expressed my condolences. Mr. Speaker, Then let us look at tertiary education. The contribution to UWI in 2001 was $4 million. Mr. Speaker, the contribution now at UWI now is 6.5 million. The contribution to the Service Commission to send students on scholarships and give them grants was 2.9 million in 2001. It's now $13 million. You used to have 4 scholarships. 2, then a third one, and then a 4th one. Drip by drip. Last year, we gave national scholarships, national exhibitions, and bursaries amounting to 50. And we gave tuition scholarships 279. And then the economically disadvantaged student loan program, when we instituted it, they said it would bust the bank, it would bust the government. We have spent nearly $100 million. That's not what is owed on this program, because in 2010, we altered the arrangements, set up a student loan company, and there now, the revolving fund is helping, though we have delinquencies of about 20 little bit %. Mr. Speaker, we capitalize the company creatively by putting all the learning resource centers in the company so that they'll have a balance sheet. And the honorable member for Central Kingston, probably he's the only one over there who would appreciate this point, to strengthen the balance sheet so that they can do business. That you can see that they're an active company, not just lending money. They have assets. Just like we did with the agricultural input warehouse. And you're telling me wasted years? Nah, man. No. We'll and come again. Mr. Speaker, degrees have now been granted at community college. We have relations with about 20 different tertiary institutions. Mr. Speaker, the UWI open campus, the new building, they have a ribbon cutting on the 19th of March. That was built with $6.5 million US, guaranteed by this government, you know. It didn't take me 3 days to guarantee it. Well, 4 days, 4 working days. They came to me on a Friday. I tell them I'll take it to cabinet on the Wednesday. And what we have done now, we are servicing the loan. And the reason why we're servicing the loan, we said, oh, we know you have some problems with money. We send in students to you, we pay the loan and you just check it off. We do an accounting for it. Because you build it here, it ain't going nowhere. And, Mr. Speaker, at least the honorable member for the Northern Grenadine, the honorable leader of the opposition, should have at least said, I really love what the Prime Minister did in expanding the plant at the community college. First of all, with temporary facilities, then with over 80,000 square feet of floor space, with a learning resource center. We built on 4 tennis courts The honorable member would remember that, right nearby the only two. Because that is home, that is close to him. He has a wonderful son who got one of the very many national scholarships. Wasted years? Eh? No. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. No, you're sorry. Comrade, I beg your pardon. I didn't tell you I tell you he's a fantastic young man. No, I mention it so that I say at least that would trigger in your head what we have done at the community college, that your very bright son, whom you did well to nurture, has emerged, and he, like the thousands of other young Vincentians, I didn't, I mean, I had nothing to do with it. Which school he went to? Boy, I'm giving you all that credit.
Listen, I don't speak about other members, personal family members, no matter what. I didn't say it was negative. The point is negative or positive. You, when you started out here, questioned my religiosity, you questioned my faith. The Prime Minister, now I know, he and I have spoken about this. I don't mind speaking with him privately about it. But I don't want him to be brought into the politics of this House. The Prime Minister, I have spoken privately, and I acknowledge, and he asked me how he's doing, and like father and son, and we have similar situations, we talk about that. That's fine. Not in this House, please.
Mr. Speaker, you know, when you go to that extent to raise a complaint about that, I mean, really, people listening say, no. The way the comrade talk about this thing, he talk about it with such love and care, and to show that all, my daughter got a national exhibition. My daughter could only get a national exhibition because the facilities were provided in a way, even though I helped to bring her up. And I thank the teachers and I thank the government for providing an enabling environment to help. What's wrong with that? No, Mr. Speaker. All the learning resource centers we built, all about. Mr. Speaker, I've dealt with those basic things which we came to office with. So I remind everybody, the economy, the good governance, poverty reduction, education, fighting for the workers, fighting for the elderly, and there's more. But I've said enough there.